Hello students, welcome to Education on Cloud. Today's class we will see the important notes, means the important questions that can be asked from the chapter called as Overview of Computers, which is your first chapter. So in the Overview of Computer, what important topics that you should more concentrate in exam point of view, this will be discussed today. The first question is that briefly explain the characteristics of a computer. This is important. Characteristics you should know for both the computer, and that you should explain in brief. And second question says that draw the schematic block diagram of a computer showing its essential component. Discuss the function of each component. In this second question, there are three parts. First one, draw the block diagram. A pictorial representation should be shown. After that, you should write the essential components also. After writing the essential components, you must discuss on each component that is written in the block diagram. And third question, explain the generations of computer in detail. We have 5 generations in the computer. Each and every generation in detail you should discuss that. Write a note on the classification of a computers in detail. So the classification is based on analog, digital, like this. So that classifications you must write it there. And the fifth one comes, explain the importance and usage of computers in different fields. This is nothing but the applications of computers you should discuss in detail. Today we will see the first 2 questions explaining the characteristics, about the characteristics and the block diagram we are going to discuss in today's class. In the tomorrow's class we will see the rest 3 questions. So the first question is like this. Briefly explain the characteristics of a computer. So you can first list out the characteristics, then explain in detail, means one of the characters you take each one of the character and explain in detail. So this is one way of writing, or else you can just directly go for writing the characteristics along with the explanation there. Here the characteristics include the speed, storage capacity, diligence, accuracy. So these 4 are the characteristics that you should explain for the computer. So how the speed of the computer is? Computers are fast in doing the calculations. The speed of the computer is measured in terms of number of million instructions per second, which is called as MIPS, million instructions per second. This is the unit that is used for expressing the speed of any computer. And they are fast in computing the instructions also, means calculations is much faster when you compare to the humans. Next comes the storage capacity. Computers come with a very large amount of memory space. They can hold a lot of data. Computers can extract a particular piece of information from a large amount of available data within a very short time. This is again called as accessibility. So what is this? Accessibility. How the computers can access the information from millions of data that is being present here. So this is about storage capacity. It has a large amount of memory space used for storing the information there, and out of that large amount of information, if you want some part of the data, then the accessing is also made in a like proper way, and in a very short time the accessing will be made. Okay, and next comes your diligence. So what is this diligence means? After doing work for some time, humans become tired, okay, but the computers do not become tired. They work continuously. As long as you provide the power supply to the computer, that keeps working, means that keeps running there. So this is what the diligence of the computer they are talking about. So you can give the example also. Here the example is the telephone exchanges. Okay, here the telephone exchanges never shut down. This is one of the example of diligence. What is accuracy? We have studied that in a quicker means in a fast, what is this, the calculations will be done. Okay, the fast calculations are done. You have a storage space, and out of the large amount, if you required any one particular piece of information, that is also made in a quicker manner, means in very short time the data will be taken from that. And they are saying the computers will be working on continuously as long as a power supply is given. When all these things happen, do you think that you have accurate data that is been taken? Example, see here, extracting a particular piece of information from a large amount of available data. So whatever the piece extracted here, is that the data that you required, is what we are talking about now, is something called as accuracy. Okay, the results that the computers produce are accurately provided that the input data and the programs are reliable. The computers will provide the correct output always for the programs that you write, or for the task that you give for the computer. It performs the work in such a manner that you will have an accurate result seen at the end. This is about characteristics. Next comes the block diagram of your computer. First you should draw, then you should explain. So this is a block diagram. What and all it has? Input unit, output unit, in between what you have? Storage unit, ALU and control unit. This is called as the processing, like processor, CPU you can call it as. Okay, in the CPU you will have the storage unit, you will have ALU and the control unit. So now you should explain each one of the unit in detail. Input unit. It is a device through which we can enter the program and data into the computer. How you give the instructions to the computer? This device is using for feeding the input like information for the computer for performing some task is called as input devices, and the data is then stored and processed with the help of programs. What is control processing unit then? This is the brain of a computer, you can say. Okay, this will consist of 3 units namely. So what is the 3 units? The first one we saw here is the storage unit, arithmetic unit, and means arithmetic logic unit, and next comes control unit. The same thing is explained here. See here, control unit, the arithmetic and logic unit, and the last one is the memory unit. This is one single unit, arithmetic and logical unit there. And what is the task of the central processing unit is processing the instructions. Okay, this you can write or include in this place. Okay, next comes your control unit. This unit is considered to be the nervous system of the computer. Like humans, okay, humans will have a nervous system which will carry the signals between each part of the body, correct? The same way In the computer also you have this control unit which is used for controlling all the operations that is performed by the processor. Okay, it controls all the arithmetic operations to be performed. It also coordinates the functions of all the hardware units to the computer. Next is arithmetic and logic unit. This unit performs all arithmetic calculations and logical operations involved in a program. When you write a program, in that program there can be a logical instruction or there can be a mathematical instructions which consist of arithmetic operators. Okay, so for these kind of instructions, which one will be used for processing this? This is nothing but the arithmetic and logic unit. The arithmetic unit will perform the arithmetic calculations and the logical unit is used for performing the logical operations on the instructions present inside the program. And next one is your memory unit. So memory unit is nothing but what? A storage space where the instructions are stored and will be used by the CPU for processing it. The function of this unit is to store the data and the set of instructions given by the program. That means given by the programmer who is actually writing the program and wanted to execute some program there. What instructions he is giving, everything is put in the memory itself. The computation results are also stored in the memory and they may be used for subsequent computations or sent to the output unit. Before processing, the instructions are put in the memory. For processing, it will be taken from the main memory. After processing also, where it is been put back in the memory itself again, and from that you can either give it to the output devices or you can keep there itself for the next cycle or next processing. Okay, and next comes your output devices. So as the name indicates, output device, whatever the processed information you have, that you should show to the user. Well, showing the user, you have the device used as output devices. The output device receive the information from the CPU and present it to the user in the desired form. Okay, in a proper manner the output will be shown to the user. Some common output devices are visual display unit, printer, okay, and etc. For input devices you have scanner, keyboard, okay, microphones. All these are the input devices. Output device, when you see a monitor, LCD display, any kind of things, and you have the speakers, all these are the output devices. So we saw two questions, okay, and generations of computer, classification of computer, and the application. We will see it in tomorrow's class. Thank you.